Welcome to Rich's era. President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness setup may be a massive win for countless borrowers. However, the unexampled move additionally comes with heaps of uncertainty. Before we continue, please support us by clicking on the subscription button and turn on the notification bell for more reliable updates. As a January payment restart looms, the applying for relief has been made on the market throughout a beta testing period but isn't nonetheless formally live for processing, and multiple lawsuits look for to challenge Biden move in court, exploit many borrowers, and advocates curious however it'll all shake out. The $1.7 trillion student debt load within the USA has been a crisis decades in the making, but Biden is the initial president to act on that, broadly speaking, by announcing up to $20,000 in loan forgiveness for borrowers, creating underneath $125,000 a year. Whereas some borrowers will receive automatic relief, the overwhelming majority will need to apply through a form that ought to go board October. We are arduous at work as a result of we all know the interest, we tend to know the excitement, we know the potential demand, thus we are exploitation all our greatest practices to create positive that we will handle that volume, a political candidate told reporters throughout a weekday press call. At Constantine, I feel it vital as we communicate to borrowers. This can be planning to be on the market through Gregorian calendar month of 2023, which may be a set amount of your time, together with by that new individuals will apply. Payments are still set to resume in January 2023, when being on pause for over 2 years throughout the pandemic. Once saying the debt relief, Biden said the extension of the payment pause through Gregorian calendar month 2022 would be final, whereas additionally noting that the applying to use for relief would go live in early October. In response to a number of conservative lawsuits seeking to halt the relief in court, the administration backed far away from the early October messaging. The White House reiterated, though, that the shape will be on the market someday in October and previewed what the simple and straightforward application will appear as if for borrowers earlier this week. Borrowers are expecting a decide to rule on a cause filed by 6 Republican-led states, following a weekday hearing within which their attorneys argued the relief will hurt their state's revenues and may be paused. Whereas the Department of Education recommends borrowers submit their applications by time period, therefore the relief will hit their accounts before payments resume. It remains to be seen, however effectively student loan firms will implement the relief. Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar told Corporate Executive that while canceling student debt was a massive victory, it's only as effective as its implementation. We should make sure that the applying method is sleek and simple, while not officialdom red tape, Omar said, and the administration must implement this relief as fleetly and with efficiency as possible, so everybody eligible will access this crucial relief. We must additionally guarantee there's clear communication with borrowers sooner than compensation, so of us don't need to agitate the anxiety of not knowing if and the way a lot of repayment can be. Another concern is with the loan servicers. We must ensure that they aren't partaking in deceptive or outlaw behavior and holding them absolutely responsible if they do, she added. Our goal should be to urge individuals all the relief they're eligible for. Louise Seamster, a non-resident fellow researching debt at the Brookings establishment and a social scientist at the University of Iowa, told Corporate Executive that she hopeful the method can go smoothly. However, she additionally desires the department to contemplate past problems with loan servicers as reasons to any extent. I extremely would need the Department of Education to bear in mind of any potential challenges given the history of servicers in administering student debt generally, and particularly special programs or initiatives like Public Service Loan Forgiveness, or PSLF, garment worker said. She additional that given the mechanical phenomenon of loan servicers up to the present point, I feel it affordable to agonize concerning however well cancellation are going to be administered, and that I would need any roadblocks on the thanks to be managed by them, instead of to in addition burden borrowers. Leading up to and following Biden announcement of relief, lawmakers raised considerations with how effectively the forgiveness would be implemented. Representative Ilhan Omar, a Democrat from Minnesota, has frequently expressed the need for fast implementation. Virginia Fox, the highest Republican on the House Education Committee, wrote in a letter that the relief ought to be a comprehensive, sleek operation that follows careful coming up with associate in nursing thoughtful thought concerning all aspects of an initiative from communications to implementation. However, these considerations don't seem to be new. PSLF that was supposed to forgive student debt for public servants when 10 years of qualifying payments had a 98 nil rate to the program when Biden took workplace attributable to a backlog of applications and direction in process the forms, warranting reforms to the program that are expiring on October 31st, and income-driven compensation plans, which are intended to provide borrowers reasonable monthly payments, with the promise of loan forgiveness when a minimum of 20 years, had constant issue. Recent reports found loan firms didn't track payments borrowers had made. Fox told corporate executives she isn't seeing associate and Nursingy enhancements and therefore, the Biden administration is pushing an already strained system to the purpose of collapse. Democrats are intensifying the federal student loan program issues by failing to restart repayments, issue adequate steering to servicers, and supply clarity to over 40 million borrowers, she said. Unfortunately, I don't expect a lot to change. Borrowers and taxpayers ought to expect additional of the same from the Biden administration. Chaos associate in nursing confusion. However, garment worker aforementioned that the history of closing targeted relief ought to raise considerations relating to loan companies' talents to method new PSLF forms, implement Biden broad relief, and resume payments in only a couple of months, while not an extension of the pause. Loan servicers have just not shown that they need the aptitude to manage all the items happening promptly effectively, and that we understand after they can't manage, the borrowers pay the price, garment worker said. The Department of Education has not indicated if it'll extend the payment pause, and every one borrowers will do at once is take Biden word that the method are going to be sleek and wait to visualize if loan firms can live up to expectations.